How do you protect your assets during a lawsuit? Hi, I'm attorney Paul Deloughery, and I just happened to see a video about how to do this, and I wanted to just discuss it from a lawyer's standpoint. So the advice basically was to transfer your money, and by assets we're talking about money. You can't transfer your house offshore, but you can transfer money to a trust in the Cayman Islands or Nevis or Belize or so on, and that can actually be effective to protect the money. The reason being that the jurisdictions in those different islands don't automatically recognize a judgment. Well, they don't recognize a foreign judgment. So the theory is that your creditor would need to go through the whole motions of getting a judgment against you here in this country, and then lo and behold, your money is in the Cook Islands Trust, and in order for them to chase after the money, they would have to start a lawsuit there, and by then the statute of limitations might have run and all that kind of stuff. So that all is true. However, there are 4 fatal flaws to doing it this way. Let me just mention those. So the first one is, the first fatal flaw is that transferring the money overseas during a lawsuit might be fraudulent, it might be criminal. In Arizona, it would actually be criminal. You could be thrown in jail and fined personally for doing that. Now, the money might be safe, okay? An Arizona court is not going to be able to seek the return, or not going to be able to get the return of the money back to Arizona, for example, so your money's safe. So, however, you might be in jail. Fatal flaw number 2, the court could order you to return the money. Now, you'll say, well, I can't. I'm not the trustee. The trustee is this trust company in Nevis or wherever, whatever island it happens to be on. And then the court would say, well, we don't believe you. We think you can direct the trustee to return the money. And if you don't, if you're not able to get the money back, the court can hold you in contempt of court, which is a justification for throwing you in jail. So there you go, back in jail. Okay, your money's safe. However, you just lost your freedom. Fatal flaw number 3 is actually kind of obvious if you think about the next step. Okay, so your money is now in this trust in Belize or wherever, and you don't actually have use of it. So you could be worth millions of dollars and not have money for groceries. So at that point you think, well, shoot, I'll just open up a new bank account, and then I'll transfer some money to that bank account. And then what happens is your creditor, the judgment creditor, will discover that bank account, because there's a way to do that, and they will levy or garnish the money in that bank account. And then, so then you just lost your money. You don't have money for groceries again. Open up a new bank account. The cycle continues. The creditor discovers that. They send the sheriff out, or figure out whatever the state method is in your state to get the money turned over from the bank account to to your judgment creditor, and then you can just keep repeating that cycle. So that's not super great, okay? Having to open up new bank accounts and trying to figure out, well, maybe I can open it in a different state or something like that, and then they're going to hold they'll hold debtors exams, and your life is just going to be miserable. Fatal flaw number 4 is the companies, and there are several companies that I've seen here on YouTube that market offshore trusts. They're not law firms. So the thing is, your money might be protected. However, if you end up in jail, or you actually learn that you don't have use of the money, and you want to go after that company, number one, they're an asset protection company, so their money is going to be protected. Their money is going to be, safely in the Cook Islands or Isle of Man or something like that. And there's nothing really else you can do to them, okay? I'm sure they had you sign some kind of a disclaimer saying that you understood they're not lawyers and all this kind of stuff, and you understood the risks, and so it's going to be hard for you to go after them. However, if you go to see a lawyer has some skin in the game called their license, and a lawyer can be subject to a malpractice lawsuit or losing their law license, their license to practice law, because the ethics rules in any state require that the lawyer act within the law and not commit fraud. I, as a lawyer, am not going to tell you something like, well, we're just send the money over overseas and it'll be fine. And then, I have no way of running away if that turns out badly for you. So I'm going to give more safe advice. And speaking of that, there are safe ways of protecting your money, even during a lawsuit. There are tried and true safe ways. I'm not going to go into them all here because it really depends on the state that you're in and your particular situation. For example, you could do what O.J. Simpson did and get a house, use some of the money to buy a house in one of the states that allows an unlimited homestead exemption, like Iowa, Texas, Florida. Florida's nice. You want to be in the Caribbean, it's pretty close. And you can actually live there in a house that's protected and won't be taken away from you. So to wrap up here, I just want to ask you, does the advice that I'm giving as a lawyer, and by the way, this is not personal advice, I don't know your particular situation, so I'm not giving you legal advice, but what I'm telling you here in this video, does that sound more like what a doctor would say, who would want to test and see you in person and know about your specific situation and then give you a specific recommendation for you? Or does it sound like an advertisement on TV by a pharmaceutical company? Okay, so the doctor knows your particular situation or will not tell you to do something before doing some tests, asking you questions, knowing your specific situation. The advertisement on TV just blurts it out to anyone, and kind of the implication is, you should just try it because, what the heck. Everyone, the people in the commercial are dancing on the beach and they're happy and, maybe it'll work for you. So obviously, the doctor is going to be safer than just randomly trying a medication based on an advertisement on TV with happy people dancing around. And coincidentally, the doctor has a license that he or she could lose and is going to be more careful about that. And the pharmaceutical company doesn't really care because they have all those little warnings, at the end that are playing, at like 3 times the speed, and while the people are dancing around and being all happy. So there you go. Yes, it's possible to protect your assets during a lawsuit. However, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. So I hope this video was helpful. Please like and subscribe it. And, if you have any questions, give us a call. We're here to help.